Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having an amazing day. In today's video, we are going to be working on the IS200. We're going to be changing the brake pads on the rear and on the front, as you guys can see. This is going to be my first ever time doing brake pads on any car, let alone this car. So hopefully it goes well, fingers crossed. I want to take you guys with me. I want to show you guys as clearly and best as I can on how you guys can do it as well, by yourself. Don't really have anything else to say. Let's make a start. I've got the pads here. I've got the rear ones, as you can see. They look like that. And I've got the front ones as well. These are bloody heavy. I'm gonna open them real quick. I'll show you guys how they look. So these are the rear pads, as you guys can see. Looks like that. Nothing special. And then we've got the front pads over here. These are the front pads. These are heavy. Bloody hell. And that's what you're obviously going to need. And another thing we're going to need is copper grease. We're going to need these when installing the pad. So make sure you guys got some grease with you as well. And as for the tools we're going to be using, as you guys can see, I've got socket set here, flathead, adjustable spanner. And I've got this thing. I think these are called plumbers. I don't know what these things are called, but basically they're massive pliers. I'm going to be using these to actually push the pistons in, but there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So I want to show you guys the easiest way without doing it without the special tool, because I don't even have the special tool with me at the moment. So I'm going to be using these massive pliers. I'm going to try to do this the easiest way with the least amount of tools possible. So yeah, that's just one. And then obviously you're flipping, what's this thing called? I don't know. The thing you take the wheels off. And again, you don't need to have this, but you want to get a hammer just in case you need it. It might be a bit helpful. But yeah, that is legit. That's pretty much it. There's not much involved in this, to be honest with you. Obviously, get your jack and trolley, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I think we're ready to make a start. So first of all, before we start anything, what you guys want to do, just open the bonnet. I'm going to take off that cap over there, just in case the brake fluid like overfills and spills. Because obviously it's going to get pressurized when we push the pistons back in. So just take the cap off and put it somewhere safe. Okay, so once that's done, we're now going to jack up the car. We're going to be starting off with the rear wheels first. They're much more easier than the front. Right, so we're now ready to remove the rear pads. So firstly, what we're going to have to do is remove the locking pin, which, as you guys can see, I have actually got what's this called again? A needle. Bro, I'm so bad with names. Like I genuinely I can't remember anything. You're gonna have a locking pin there and it needs to be removed, so just get some pliers or something and yeah, just pull it out. Right, so now that you remove the locking pin, there's this piece over here, which, as you guys can see, we need to remove that. But before we do move that, you're gonna get your flathead, and essentially what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove this clip here. So all you do, you just push it upward. It's a bit awkward, it's a bit weird to take it out, but just give it a little wiggle and it does eventually pop off. So just probably ideally from the bottom, and then just pushing just like that, and there you go. It should just come out. It's a bit awkward again, but just play around with it a little bit and it does eventually come out just like that. Once the clip is out, what you're gonna do, get this pin and get your pliers again and just pull it out just like that. Came out easily in my case, but if it's hard in your case, just get a hammer and yeah, just hit it from there, then it will definitely come out. And once that's done, guys, that is literally it. That's literally it. That's how easy this is. I'm gonna get the flathead again and just pry out the old ones, and it should just come out. There's pad number 1 and pad number 2. Just get your flathead again, just pry it out gently, and there we go, guys. That is pad number 2. Right, so before we put the new pads in, we obviously have to push in the pistons because they're retracted. How I'm gonna do it, right, I'm gonna get my giant clamp. Essentially I'm gonna squeeze here first. So as you guys will see, the piston will go in. Okay, I'm just squeezing it, and as you guys saw, the piston has gone in. All right, so now for the trick. Now that we pushed in this piston, we want to get our new pad and we're going to slide it in there. We're going to get the giant clamp now and we're going to squeeze it from this piston to this part over here where my thumb is. So it should fit in. Then, as you guys may see on camera, the piston has now retracted, as you guys saw. And to test if it's gone all the way in, just get your other new pad, see if it fits, and as you guys can see, perfect fit. So now we can actually go on to installing the new pads. Alright, so we've got our new pad here, we've got the old one here. So obviously first what we need to do is transfer the old clips onto the new one. So first it's this one. Oops, first that one just goes on top just like that. Then the second one goes on just like that. We're not going to be needing this old one anymore, so chuck that away. Now what we're going to do, we're going to grease this up. So I've got my copper grease, and what I'm going to do is just dip my finger in there, and where the piston's going to meet the actual clip, you guys can see the outline anyways. Just put the grease there and mix it in real nice. You don't have to put too much, but as long as it's grease it should be okay, just to prevent it from seizing up or anything. Alright, so that one's all done. We're going to repeat the exact same step for the other pad just over here. So it should just go right in. There you go. The other one went in pretty easily. So if it's really tight, again, what you guys can just literally do, just get the big clamps and just compress it again. It should go in pretty easy. There we go. Finally. Alright, now that that's done, we can now move on to putting the clip back in. So that should just slide in pretty easily. Again, you can use a hammer to help you out here. Get the little bracket thing and slide that in this way. Again, it's a bit weird, a bit fiddly, but it should just go in just like that. It's more easier to put in than remove. And once that's done, I'm gonna get our locking pin, which in my case is obviously a flipping needle. Just gonna slide that through and just hammer it down a little bit. Just gonna bend that real quick. That is it, guys. That is how you change the rear pads on the IS200. As you guys can see, it's super easy. It took me like what, 5 to 10 minutes. You don't even need a lot of tools as well, honestly, but yeah, that is that. Let's move on to the front now. So we're now at the front, and obviously it's a bit more involved, it's a bit more difficult, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it the most easiest way. So firstly, you want to get 14mm, I'm pretty sure you're going to a 14mm socket. And what you're going to do, we're going to remove this bolt over here, and we're going to remove this bolt over here. So you're also going to need, with a 14, you want to get a spanner, just so you can also hold on to this part as well, just so you can prevent it from spinning. So I'm going to take this one off, and also I'm going to be taking off this one over here. Right now, so this part can be a bit difficult, because obviously if you have low brake pads, the pads could be pretty stuck onto the actual disc. So as you guys can see, it's not really budging. So what you can do, just get some pry tool or something and just bend it out, and it will eventually pop out. As you guys can see, you have to put a bit of arm work into it. There we go. That is the caliper removed. As you guys still a bit stuck, just give it a little shake and it should come out. So once that's out, just put it in a safe spot, just leave it on top just like that. Once you got the caliper removed, you can literally just pull these old guys out. It should just come out pretty easily. There's one. Ouch. There's one, and the one behind it, if it's a bit tight, just again get some pry tool, stick it in there, and it should just pop out just like that. There we go. As you guys can see, oh shit, that's pretty low. That's one of them, but this one's quite good, you know. It's got a decent amount left on it, but oh well. That is everything removed, guys. Those are the old pads removed. Now it's probably the most difficult part, is actually retracting the pistons, but I want to show you guys a little trick. Alright, so what I want to show you guys is, as you guys can see, the pistons have been retracted a lot. So we obviously need to push these right back in. So what I'm going to be doing is, we're going to get one of the old pads, right? And we're going to slide it, we're going to put it back in. Alright, so we put one pad in. So what we're going to do now, oh, this is so heavy. This is not nice to do with one hand. Alright, oh my god. We're going to put the caliper back into place. Okay, and then we're going to get our bolt, and we're going to bolt it back on, but just hand tight it. You don't have to do anything special or too tight. So we're going to bolt it all back in now. Now that we've got it bolted back in again, just hand tight. Here's how we're going to make the piston go back in. So what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using this thing, right? I put the bar in there, and there's two ways you can do this. You can either do it my way, put it like this, and I want to pull it towards me. And as you guys can see, it's pulling the caliper. So it's bringing the caliper towards me, which will push in the pistons on that side, obviously. Another way though, if you guys have a strong pry bar, just stick it in here. As you can see, it's vented, so you can put it in there, and you can literally pull it. You can pull the whole caliper towards you like that. But obviously this isn't a bend for me, unfortunately, so I'm going to do it this way. But if you guys can do it from this way, that's even better. But in my case, I'm going to be pulling it here, and that in return will pull the pistons. And you guys will notice, because as you guys can see, there's a big gap here. But once you pull in the pistons, this will be closed, they'll be in contact. So just keep pulling until you see these two in contact. Right, once you've done that, you can remove the 2 bolts and just lift it up and put it just over there again, and just remove the pad over here as well. Now that we've done that, we can finally move on to installing the new pads. So we're going to get our grease, and what we're going to do, we're going to just grease the back of this part. We're going to need quite a bit, because obviously there's 2 pistons on the front brake, so get a decent amount. Now that we've done that, we're going to get a bit more, and we're going to put it on the edges just over here, just like that. And the exact same thing for the other side. Just get some grease. You don't have to put too much on, but a decent amount. Just get them all lubricated. Greased up the pads, we can now get on to installing them. So we're going to start off with this side first. Slide right in, just like that. That's one side, and again, it should just go right through the clips. Now that we've got the pads in, we can now finally fit on the caliper. So it should just slide in. If it might be a bit tight, but if it is, don't worry. Finally got the bolts, and as you guys can see, one there and one there. All that's left to do now is just tighten them back up, and finally guys, that should be the job done. There you guys have it. That is how you change your brake pads on a Lexus IS200. I'm going to do the other sides off camera, but yeah, I just wanted to do the rear and the front just so I can show you guys how I do it and show you how it's done. But yeah, that is it. Not too bad, honestly. The rear was super duper easy. The front, the hardest part was pushing the pistons back. As you guys have probably noticed, when you do it, you have to use a lot of force to actually get the pistons to go back inside. But I don't recommend to actually get the tool. It's pretty cheap. You can get it on eBay and Amazon for like 5 to 10 quid. But if not, you can just use what I use one of these things and just pull it out by force. But yeah, that is how to change the brake pads on a Lexus IS200. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
We were young, but stars on the wall. Praying with the ones that the teacher wouldn't call. We would stare at each other, cause we were always